let's jump into it here. We had Chris Webber on yesterday, and he talked about what it meant to him to be there. What did it mean to you to see him there this
meant
weekend?
Everything to me and to the staff and players to see Chris being back for his first Michigan basketball game, doing a very highlight moment, a very tough competitive game, speaking of versus Tennessee.
Yes.
To be able to get that victory and knowing that, we have my brother, C. Webb, in the building, that's one of those special moments, man, that I'm always going to remember and cherish as a head coach at the University of Michigan.
Yeah, and it just seemed, again, obviously before you went into the locker room and you were celebrating with your players, just seeing him and you and I guess Ray Jackson as well, like 3/5 of the Fab Five together like that was just spectacular, And
yes.
And so Ray got out of the way, it seemed too, so the two of you guys could have your moment. It seemed like that
right.
for a quick second. Correct?
Well, yes, you're absolutely right. Ray first is so selfless. He's always been that way since our times at Michigan. And, Ray had been to a Michigan game before. Surprised me, like in 2019, my first season with Michigan as the head coach. And that time, Ray has been also behind the scenes during those moments, helping C. Webb with his, transitioning back to the school to visit Michigan. And so Ray, wanted that moment to be for us, for Chris and I'm speaking of. And I just really applaud, both guys for, taking time from their schedule, away from their families, and just being present. I love them both. I love all of them. Jimmy King, Jalen Rose was at our first game versus Colorado State. Those moments, man, the highlight moments, man, just to be there, just for the players, because it's not about me. It's bigger than me. But then, being a student athlete at Michigan, I'm sure that's the highlight moments for them too, because they remember their time during their tournament runs and what it meant for them and their growth.
Yeah. What do the current Michigan players say? When somebody like C. Webb comes in, or Ray Jackson, or Jalen, your teammates from back in the day. What do they say to you? Do they say anything to you? Do you have a conversation with them about it at all?
Yes. And that conversation started this morning, believe it or not. Musa, just talked about how excited he was seeing Chris Webber, and then also knowing, the things that were said in the locker room. He highlighted, some of his words as far as his message given to the guys. And so I never once, talked about like, hey, we were Fab Five, we did it this way, or this is how it should be done because, Fab Five, we've had so much success. I never address our players that way because, at that moment, once you get to talking about as a coach, well, when I did this and I did that, sometimes you sort of lose them. But, I've always, the only thing I've shared with them was, my time in Michigan was special, and I had a chance to experience it with, some great teammates, and those relationships has lasted a lifetime for me and for them. And so that's why I've always, talked to our players about, these moments of the hard practices, the wins, the losses, the trips, the bus rides, the locker room talks, the meals when we share together. This is the brotherhood that you are going to, and the bond that you're creating now. It's going to be something that, that hopefully in 30 years from now, you guys will get a chance to reflect on, but you still will always remain intact as a family. It's great to hear, those words that come out of Chris' mouth, knowing that, in his heart, he wanted to see, all five guys back together, whether in whatever form it is, if it's at a Michigan basketball game, if it's at someone's birthday, or it's a relative outing or something like that, but it's with all that experience and I'm speaking of being on campus and hanging out as young men, talking about, what's our next step, after college, and all the stories that we used to share together and talk about, what happened in practice, somebody get dunked on. Those are fun, cherished moments that no one can take away from you. And I'm sure he's reflecting on all that. And it's great to hear that. When you mentioned about let's move past it, I thought that was pretty funny. KG and Ray Allen. I can't leave without saying about that one. When you talk about KG and Ray Allen, getting past whatever happened over to Boston. And I remember when Ray decided to join Miami Heat. I was on the Miami Heat team at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know how KG and Paul Pierce and them felt. It's not easy, but knowing that as you're getting older, there's a life where we all have to move on and just, whatever mistake a guy may have said bad about someone, or whether if it's a difference that you've had, that's what family do. They go through those moments where, you grow and you move on. And that's nice to hear that that's what's going to be happening soon. Well,
you have a large role in it, Coach Juwan Howard. You go and go forth and keep on advancing. It's just a thrill to watch. It really is. And I always cherish when you take the time to call into the show. I do not take it for granted. Thanks again. Truly.
No, it's truly an honor and to be here on your show. And I know you're a Michigan man all through and through. You and I, it's a special bond that only us Michigan people truly understand. And being a part of that amazing blue is special. And with saying that, I would just want to leave you with two words.
Yes.
Go blue.
Thank you, Juwan Howard. Right back at you. I've got a big grin on my face right now that I'm sure.
I love you, Rich.
Right back at you. Right back at you, Juwan Howard. Thanks for the call. Good luck against Villanova and beyond. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.